Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Monday's edition of MRC Live. I'm Mike Russell. And we are getting ready to go live with the live stream. It's good to have you here, by the way. If you happen to be watching on the replay, you can fast forward 2 minutes and 52 seconds and get straight into the content if you like. How are you today? Let me know in the chat who you are, where you're watching from, what you're up to. David Silk is there first. Peter Young as well, greetings to you. Anthony Hall, hello there. Pete's in. David Hunter, nice to see you. Easy DC, nice to see you, Easy DC. Welcome along to the show. We're getting going in about 2 minutes, 15 seconds. I'm doing really good, really good. Thanks for asking, Easy DC. Live at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Also, we'll be on Facebook Live, Periscope, Twitch, wherever you like to watch. Jason Arnold, nice to see you back, Jason. Jason in Baltimore, Maryland. Tarek, Mr. Mega Radio UK, very good afternoon to you here in the UK. Good morning if you're watching across in North or South America, and good evening if you're watching down under. Easy DC's waiting. Max A, nice to see you. With a shocked looking face emoticon. Hi man, that's Hi Man Shu. Nice to see you. Hey Paige, nice to see you back. Morning to you. You got a question, Easy DC? Fire away, fire away. Hey Anthony, great to hear about your YouTube and Facebook Live debut, going great, except for a bit of noise at the end, whoops. Waves Q10 parametric EQ on sale. Thanks for the heads up, Anthony. Amazing. Pippin's in as well. Madracom. Aldoe444. Ganish. Welcome to the show.
Testing the left speaker. Left. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing phaser. All frequency sweep. Stand by for Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell. MRC Live. Music Radio Creative Live with Mike Russell. Starting in 30 seconds.
Hello and welcome along. I am Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com. It is fantastic to have you here. Wow, fantastic stuff. And I'm really excited to get into the content of today's show as well. It's going to be a really exciting one. You can see my shirt is a bit faded there. I think I went a little bit too green today and I'm blending into the background. Don't you think? Just a tiny bit. As Nightbot is mentioning in the YouTube live comments, remember the survey. If you want to change this show for the better, get your feedback in now and let me know how I can make this show better. I'm asking simple questions on a simple one-page survey. Take you less than a minute to fill out, unless you want to write an essay to me. Stuff like how long do you want the show to be, how many days a week, that kind of thing. And it's all at mrc.fm/survey. Really appreciate it if you'd fill it out. If you haven't done so already, I know many of you did last week who are regular viewers to the show. But if you're brand new, welcome along. It's really good to have you there. I'm so excited that you've decided to tune in for this Monday's show. And if you are new, just let me know by typing new, all capitals, into the chat. Wherever you're watching, it doesn't matter. I will see your comments. So if it's on Facebook, if it's on YouTube, if it's on Periscope or Twitch, just type the word new, all in capitals, so I can know that you're new to the show. It's a show for audio producers, for DJs, radio hosts, radio programmers. It's for podcasters. It's for anyone who wants to create creative audio. So welcome along to your home. As you'll see, there's a nice bubbly community over in the chat, which you can keep an eye on over there. Yeah, there. Get it right. It's just there. So the chat just scrolls along as we go live. And yeah, I'd particularly like to hear from you. So game show voiceovers, you know, this kind of stuff. And now, live from the Isle of Wight, it is the game show of the century! Woo! That kind of stuff. So we'll be using a lot of reverb. And yeah, it's going to get really exciting. So we're going to be off the scale with reverb. Like reverb up to 11! Yes! Right, and I did have a few complaints last week that I wasn't playing enough jingles. So... Oh, hang on. Let's start that again. I didn't have the fader open. Let's play the ramp instead. This is the number, by the way. We do have a live call-in number for anyone who's brave enough to pick up a traditional telephone and call us on the show live. So if you want to get on air with me, call this number. 415-800-1055. Normal operator charges apply. Do add +1, remember. MusicRadioCreative.com. If you're calling from outside the United States, check the bill payer's permission if you don't pay the bill. All that kind of stuff usually applies, so just make sure. But I'd love to hear from you. +1 415-800-1055. If you've got a question to ask me, or if you simply want to interject, or just say what's going on in your life. It's kind of like it's open between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. UK time, Monday to Friday, when I'm on the air, basically. Right, let's get into this. Today, I'm going to be using the wonderful voice talents of Darren Altman, who is not only to be found on the Music Radio Creative website, he's there. Can you see him there? There's his demo. You can add him to cart and you can make jingles with him at musicradiocreative.com, which, by the way, we're just trying out a new coupon, maybe for a limited time only. But if you type MRC Live into the checkout, into the coupon box at checkout, you will get 10% off any order, like across the board, anything you order from us. So I thought we'd kind of test that out for a limited time. I'm only mentioning it on the live stream, by the way. It's not going into any newsletter or any website. Live stream only. MRC Live. If you type that into the coupon box at checkout, 10% off any order from Music Radio Creative. So Darren's there, and he's also got a fantastic YouTube channel, which I really want to shout out. The reason I'm using Darren in this show, you'll see in a second, his waveform is behind me here. He was kind enough to record me some samples that I could show to you during this session as I make a game show style voiceover. And I couldn't think of someone better than Darren to do this, because he's a man of many voices. So his YouTube channel is at youtube.com/UK voiceover guy. That's youtube.com/UK voiceover guy. And I'm just going to post that link in the YouTube live chat now. So right now I want you to click over to that link and hit subscribe on his channel, because he's always releasing funny stuff. So the link's there, youtube.com/UK voiceover guy. One of my favorite videos that Darren released on his channel. He's done lots of stuff, like he's got a voiceover studio. He's based in London in the UK. He's done a tour of his voiceover studio, which I think is a brilliant video. It's one of my personal favorites, but one I wanted to show to you quickly before I get into using his samples to do some production is just a quick sample, not the whole thing, of Celebrity Impressions' I Should Be So Lucky. Take a listen to a bit of this. It's really good. I really like it.
There is no complication. I dream about you all the time. My mind, a celebration, the sweetest of sensation, thinking you could be mine.
There you go. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'll let you go and explore that video on his channel. But yeah, as you heard David Attenborough in there, we had Gordon Ramsay as well. Tons of stuff. Great celebrity impressionist. Seriously, Darren is the man for that kind of stuff. So go check him out first and foremost. A big thank you, Darren, as well, for making these. I know you watch from time to time, so I'm really grateful for these clips. And yeah, he's done tons of stuff. So I'm going to get through and produce a lot of this stuff during the session. But I'll start off with the first 3 cuts. He's done me 3 different takes. And I said to him, first of all, for this kind of game show voiceover session, I would really like to have a kind of I wanted to cross the borders, because I know there's a lot of UK impressions that I'll use during this session that I know a majority of you watch from the States, United States. So I wanted to start off with something of that. And I thought, what better than the US edition of The Price is Right? And I really like the intro to The Price is Right, you know, and now from Hollywood, California. So I said, Darren, would it be possible you could do something like that? And he came up with this.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right.
And do you like what I did there with Isle of Wight? The Price is Right. Yeah. Very good, yeah. So let's go and produce this up and pop this over into the multi-track first and foremost. So I'm going to pop that in my downloads folder, and we'll call this Game Show VOs, all using, this is all Darren, by the way, all the way through. So here I am in my Music Radio Creative presets template, and let's have a listen to the second cut he's done.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right.
Nice. And this one?
Here it comes.
I really like the way kind of Darren winds up just here. It's like,
here it.
How does he do that? It sounds like a record winding up.
Here
it. Great vocal pipe. So
here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right.
Nice. Okay. I kind of feel like I've got to be a cheesy game show host during this show and do something. Do a kind of crazy giveaway or something. So let's do this, and let's pop into my downloads folder over here. What do we got? Loads of stuff. So here we go. Sound effects. Let's just bring in something like, we've got 2 little theme tunes that I wanted to play with during this show. So let's see what we've got here. Maybe this will do. Oh, perfect. So cheesy and game show-like. By the way, I notice I'm fading into Adobe Audition. It's my terrible choice of shirt today. Green screen leak is coming through today. Don't wear greeny blue t-shirts or turquoise. Noted for the future. And that's where we'll bring it in.
Here it comes.
Do we think the music's got the right energy?
It comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right.
Hello there, Music Radio Creative. You are live on the air. Who's this?
Hi, Mike. It's Paul. Tennessee. How are you, man?
Paul, I'm really well. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt the show, but I just wanted to call and let you know how I made it into work this morning.
Nice. That's always good to hear, because it's early morning where you are now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here on the East Coast of the U.S. But anyway, I just want to let you know that I drove to work today in a new car.
Here it comes. I like it. So what are you up to today, Paul? Are you on the air?
I am. I'm going on the air in 50 minutes here in Tennessee.
Awesome. Can I tune in online? What's the link to the radio station?
Oh man, the pressure I'm going to feel today. Q100country.com.
Oh man.
Q100country.com.
I love country music. We don't have enough radio stations in the United Kingdom playing country music. I've just dragged the website up. It looks really cool. Wow. Amazing stuff.
Awesome.
There's a listen live button.
Awesome. There's a listen live right there. You can stream it.
Brilliant.
That new country music is taking. In fact, just the other day we had a very good country singer. Oh man, Fiona, who's from England, came over and sang for us. She's located in Nashville now, and we hear that
Really?
Europe really has like new country kind of taken off. Is that right?
It's getting there, but I mean, we still look to you. I can see, yeah, Keith Urban is there on your playlist. I'm a bit of a, I think it's still kind of off the mainstream to like country in the UK, but I am a bit of a Blake Shelton fan. Do you play much Blake Shelton?
We have a whole lot of BS around here, my friend. You better believe it.
Or is he way too mainstream for you?
No, that's it. We're a hit machine. We're playing the hits.
Nice.
So he's on the charts, and so that's what we're playing.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. Paul, thank you so much for calling. Really appreciate your call.
All right, have a great day. I drove here and all right, see you later, buddy.
See ya. Bye. Oh my goodness, yeah, Paul definitely always makes me laugh when he calls in. Look at that. So yeah, his website, his radio station website is Q100.3, Q100 Country, and I'm going to be tuning in to that later on to listen to Paul on the air. So yes, indeed, all that kind of stuff. Here it comes. Now, why am I showing you game show style voiceovers today? Simply for the reason that you don't necessarily have to use them for a game show on TV. You could, well, use ideas like this for your radio show jingles, or if you've got a DJ intro. Now, if you're a serious, like, EDM DJ, you might not want, here he comes, DJ X with the best trance music. But if you're doing, like, a cheesy night at Blackpool, or a cheesy night on Atlantic City's promenade, maybe you'd want more of a kind of a, here it comes, your DJ for tonight. So, yeah, just a thought that I thought I'd put out there.
Here it comes!
Now, of course, game show voiceovers are always washed in Reverb, and they're heavily processed. So let's go through the process of doing that kind of stuff. First and foremost, you'll notice always on my Music Radio Creative template that I use, you've got stuff here like the de-esser, scientific filter for EQ, dynamics processing, speech volume leveler. So that helps level all the audio out, at least the speech. I don't process the music so that it sounds good. But there's no reason why I couldn't go in and use, and by the way, those are all stock Adobe Audition plugins that I'm using there. There's no special sort of third-party effects in there. But I could, if I like, go in to amplitude and compression and add a really cool tube modeled compressor, which is kind of very old school, but it should give that nice old school game show style sound.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight.
And if I take that off.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight.
And the ratio is actually quite heavy there, so I'm going to take it down a bit. 5-to-1 ratio, 12-to-1, and you're really bashing that audio down. Let me just bounce down a couple of different versions at different ratios. The threshold, -26, looks about right. You can see the compressor here is really working. Every time the red tips in, that means the tube-modeled compressor is working. And the reason I'm using this today is because I don't often use the tube-modeled compressor, but it's got that kind of very vintage, retro-y sound, and on like a game show, I don't know why I associate game shows with the 80s. Maybe we want to go for that kind of sound today. So attack is 0 milliseconds, meaning the compressor is going to poof, kick in straight away and start leveling out any peaks in the voice as soon as they arrive. Release 100 milliseconds, gives it a bit of breathing space to recover. But why am I talking about it? Better to show it to you by bouncing down the selected track. And this is, as you can see, it's been reduced in output gain quite significantly. So what I might want to do is make up for that by turning up that output gain. Let's find out what's happened here. And the best way to see how much your audio has been reduced by is to go into the window menu here, Amplitude Statistics. This works, I've never tried it in the multitrack actually, but it definitely works in the waveform view, Amplitude Statistics. And then you simply click Scan to scan Darren's voice there, and it's going to tell me the peak amplitude is 23.31. That means I can have up to 23 dB of increase in the output gain. So let's just pop there. 23 dB, and see what happens now if I try to bounce that down again. In fact, let's completely get rid of that track there, and we'll try and bounce that down again now with some make-up output gain. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So that's perfect. And I knew that I needed a 23 dB increase because I analyzed the previous wave with amplitude statistics. So a handy little tool to use there if you're doing things like that. And now we've got a nicely processed, vintage processed.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight.
Sounding good. And we'll just get rid of that now and test this out.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right!
Okay, perfect. Wow, did you hear how the bed just kind of changed key and continued going as soon as he ended? I love it. I never intentionally set out to do things like that from the outset, but when they happen, I call it just audio production magic. Right, it's 16 minutes into the show. Let's take a quick look at what you have been saying all over the place in the comments. We got Kenny Alloway on Facebook Live. Nice to have so many of you on Facebook Live today. I always do appreciate it when you tune in and say hello on Facebook Live. So who have we got here? Yeah, Kenny, will you be doing this as a YouTube tutorial? It is actually live also on YouTube right now at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Thanks to Joseph, who says, I filled out the survey, which is fantastic behavior, really, really good stuff. What else have we got here? We've got Toyetan saying hello. Jamie is a new viewer to the show. Hey, Mitch is in. Hey, Mitch, nice to see you. Mitch Johnson watching today and saying good morning to Darren as well. Both Mitch and Darren, very talented chaps indeed. Jamie has written about 5 times that he's new in the comments, so it's nice to see that. Donald in as well. Fifi from Ghana watching you. Love what you do. I love that you're there, Fifi. And Paulus is in from Greece as well. So keep those comments coming in as we go. I'll take a look at some of the YouTube comments in around about 10 or so minutes. As I can see, there are plenty of them coming in. Let's go back now and look at what I've got going on here. So we're going to wash it in Reverb, and seeing as I've got it, why not use it? Usually I would use the studio Reverb. And one thing I picked up already, I'm planning to make some bigger changes in October, which is, can you believe, coming next week to the show. But I have been already reading a lot of your responses on the survey. And one of the responses in particular caught my attention, saying, Mike, I love that you show some of these third-party plugins, but I really wish you could show a lot of Adobe Audition effects as well. So I'm going to try and always give you an alternative. So usually I use Adobe Audition Studio Reverb, which is great. And I have demoed this native effect many times in Adobe Audition. This is kind of how I have it set up by default. Obviously, it's disabled at the moment. It's not really too heavy, so if I switch this on and play Darren's voice, you'll notice that it's not really that noticeable, so I might need to turn up the wet.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right!
There you go, so I went up to about 40% wet. Just to explain to you what they mean, if you've not used Reverb before, dry is how much of the original dry voice you want to include. So usually that will be 100%. Unless you're doing something spooky and ethereal, then you might go down.
Here it comes.
And you kind of, it sounds like Darren's in the distance and you're hearing a kind of a big wet reverb echo off the walls. So keep it at 100. I could probably push that up to 60%.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right!
So that sounds pretty cool. What I can do as well with this, now I'm going to try my hand at this again, because on a previous show I wanted to show you how well the Waves Deep Breath plugin works. This is from Waves Audio. By the way, if you want to get any Waves audio plugins, mrc.fm/waves will give you a 10% discount coupon on any plugin in their store, and they are really good, and I think they're having a 25th anniversary sale at the moment. Some plugins reduced by up to 80%. That coupon even works on sale prices, so definitely consider it, mrc.fm/waves. And I've got the, where is it? The Waves Deep Breath. Now what this does is it takes out all the breaths, and as you probably heard, there are a few breaths here and there. There's a breath, and there's a breath. So there's a couple of breaths, and Deep Breath is supposed to take it out for you, but I don't think I had it set up correctly the last time.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right!
Now that is working, but if you're listening in stereo, you might still hear the breath in your right ear. And that is because this is a mono plugin. So what I might want to do here is create a brand new track, but let's make a mono track instead, because obviously Darren's voice is just mono. So let's pull that down there, and we'll take the tube modeled compressor settings, save them as Gameshow VO. By the way, this is the fastest way I know to copy a preset over to a new track. Or actually what you could do is you could actually save the whole chain there, the whole deep breath and tube model compressor together. Let's do that. Gameshow settings, like so, and we'll go over to track 1, which is newly created and mono. Bring in Gameshow settings, and the Waves deep breath should work better now.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right!
Okay, as you heard, that worked beautifully. The breaths are gone, but the reverb's also gone. Why is that? Because I need to just route that through to the voice effects bus. And the voice effects bus is down here, and that's where I've got my studio reverb, which is still showing on the screen right now. So, should have... There's the reverb. Cool, okay. But I did notice the deep breath is clipping price. The price is right. So we need to change the aggressiveness of this. Let's have a look at what's happening on the display.
Here it comes from the...
So every time you see that orange notch down, that means it's taking out a breath. Have a closer look at that and watch how it works. Let's play.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The...
Okay, so we've got a little problem there. So I'm just going to bring the gate up a tiny bit here.
Isle of Wight. The...
Bit more.
Isle of Wight. The Price is... Isle of Wight. The Price is... Isle of Wight. The Price...
Better. There we go. Sorry, I needed to go down instead of up with the gate settings. So now we should have a perfectly de-breathed, reverby game show introduction voice. Let's go from the start and have a listen. Here we go then. The game show is about to begin, and let's get that introduction voiceover. You ready for this? Hit it, Darren. Take it away.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right!
Nice. And of course, if I wanted to tidy that up nicely, I could even do a nice fade out there, so we've got it.
Right!
Perfect. Darren, by the way, I rant and rave about my TLM 103, which is an awesome voiceover mic, just upgraded, and I'm loving it. Darren, I believe, uses a U87 microphone, which is like, this one's expensive. That one is like even more expensive, but it's got great tech. It's basically the flagship leading microphone from Neumann, and yeah, top quality sounds. Really good to hear it. So we've got everything sounding pretty good there, although I did say I'd show you an Adobe Audition stock effect, and I just did, but I want to swap out now that studio reverb and go for something else, and it is going to be a Waves Audio plugin again. I'm kind of liking the Abbey Road plates at the moment, although H Reverb is another good one. So let's go through. Reason I'm particularly focusing on reverb in this session is because that's very much associated with game show sound. So let's have a mess with this, and then I'm going to get on to some more stuff that Darren's recorded and do some other bits of production. So what have we got here? Right, it's just loading in the Abbey Road plates, and as you can see here, really cool. Change the inputs. You can select which plates you like, and these are based on real metal plates based in Abbey Road Studios in London. You can change the treble, the settings, all very vintage, the layout of this plugin. It's actually very aesthetically pleasing, I think. You got drive, pre-delay, dry and wet settings here. So let's just have a listen and see how Darren sounds with this. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to turn that that dry and wet mix around.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the Isle of Wight. The Price is Right!
Turn it up a little bit more, maybe go for another plate. No, that plate's not good enough, don't like that one for that purpose.
Here it comes from the MRC studios on the...
Nice warm reverb there. Really liking that. Going to stick with that. And just for the end bit, before I move on, there's one glaring thing I think I'm missing. Let me see whether I can get something from our archives here to use. Oh, that's interesting. Ding. What have we got here? Something like this. Of course, we need that canned applause, as they call it in the trade. Canned applause when you're using some sound effects here. Just drag that in and move that down to the sound effects area.
Right.
Bring the applause in underneath the last bit of the voice.
Ice is right.
Let's turn that up a bit. Maybe we'll add some Abbey Road reverb to that track as well. Here we go. Abbey Road plates. I'm going to go for plate D again over here. Turn the dry and wet down a bit.
Ice is right.
Sounds like there was an otter or something squeaking in there. What's an otter doing in the audience? Let me just chop that out. So you get the idea, and that's a basic construction of a Gameshow intro, for example, very simply. But there's more goodies here from Darren, and I'm going to get back to your comments in just a moment. As I said at the top of the show, do make sure to go over and subscribe to his channel, which is at, let's just click here, Darren Altman. It is, it gives me a funny channel ID there, but essentially it's youtube.com/UK voiceover guy. youtube.com/UK voiceover guy to check Darren out on the internet. And yeah, it was kind enough to make a few voices for me to use during this session. What have we got here?
For £10,000.
Oh, let's take off the reverb now. So I'm just going to mix that down. So we've got a final mix of that. Mix down the time selection, and we'll call this Gameshow intro. Just taking a little while to mix, which when the new version of Adobe Audition is released, they're going to be 400% faster, the mix down. So I look forward to that. So we'll call this 001 Gameshow intro. I think Gameshow is probably 2 words. I only used 1 word there. Right, let's take the reverb off for a moment here. Add some suspense. Now, I believe this is Noel Edmonds from Deal or No Deal. Now, I know in the United States you have a different host, don't you? Is it Howie? I think it's Howie that hosts Deal or No Deal in the United States. We have Noel Edmonds in the UK, who, if you're from outside the UK, is a very famous old radio DJ. I don't mean old in years. I mean, he was on the radio a while ago. Now he mainly hosts TV shows. And, yeah, fantastic guy, fantastic talent. And
For £10,000.
Let's play that and then move over to this.
Is it Deal?
And then we're going to put in the next one here. And move this out just a tiny bit. Let's have a listen.
For £10,000. Is it Deal or No Deal?
Let's just move that in a little bit.
Or No Deal? Or No Deal?
Now, obviously, on the show, there are no sound effects like that, but I just thought I would jazz this up a little bit. Deal or No Deal? Obviously, I'm sure many of you watching now are familiar with that TV game show. Let's very quickly edit this up so we can get something sounding good.
For £10,000. Is it Deal or No Deal?
And I just need a bit of fade envelope at the end of that. And I'm actually going to go down here and do a little bit of cutting around with this. And I'm also going to place a very light reverb because I've cut that music up. I just want to make sure that it sounds decent because obviously just here it sounds rather abrupt at the stop.
Is it Deal?
And really I could do with some reverb just to wash that out a bit. Let's go in and use one of Adobe Audition's. We'll go for Studio Reverb here. Keep the dry in. bring the wet up to about 40%. Decay can go down to around 2 seconds.
Is it deal or no deal?
And you can hear how that reverb just kind of makes it all sound nice, for want of a better word.
For £10,000, is it deal or no deal?
And if you listen to the music on its own now, just adding a bit of subtle reverb, it doesn't have to be much, you can hear. It actually sounds now, if I just mute that out, it sounds really like that particular note has a nice decay on it. Hear that? Perfect stuff. So really enjoying that. Let's get out of that view now. And we're 31 minutes into the show. Plenty more voices to produce and play with and have some fun with. Let's see what you have been saying in the YouTube live comments. What have we got here? Let's go back and have a look. Devon, there's a game show by a company called Rooster Teeth called On The Spot that uses that sound effect when announcing final points. Well, how about that? That's interesting, isn't it? What else have we got here? A couple of you mentioning soundbible.com. That's awesome. Darren's in the house. Nice to see you there, Darren. Darren is the voice that I'm using. He's also there in the YouTube live comments. YouTube.com/UK voiceover guy. What else have we got? David is saying hello. Joe Charles. Oh, the same diaphragm, U87 and U49. Really? Is that true? Interesting. Interesting. I have not had much experience with the U49. I don't know how much it costs or what the quality of it is, but that's interesting to hear. G'day to you, Devon. Dillinger, I used to use a Blue Yeti. Now I use a Rockville MR03 mic. Sounds great and only a third of the price of a Yeti. Hey, I have no idea. I know a lot of podcasters use the Blue Yeti. And I've heard mixed reviews on it. I've never used it, so I can't give you my experience on it. But from what I've noticed, it does pick up a lot around you in the room, the Blue Yeti microphone. This is generally for podcasting, not for voiceover. But yeah, it can be a bit echoey depending on the quality of the room you're recording in. That's been my experience of it from listening to others who have used it. Right, what else have we got here? We've got Nightbot in there. David is doing a good job on moderation there in the chat, I can see. Hello to Focus Films from Louisiana. What else? Yes, Nightbot does slap down people for posting links occasionally in the YouTube chat. My Neumann TLM 103 arrived today. It's a wee bit awesome. Sound like Yogi Bear. Awesome. Paul Anthony just got a Neumann TLM 103. That's the mic I'm using. David, I had no idea Keith Urban was Aussie, but he makes great country music. In fact, you guys down under do make some great country music. I remember the times I've been in Australia and listened to Australian radio. You have a really good selection of talent there. So there we go. Right, okay. We also got Seth watching in Ghana. We got DJ Dex ZM from Zambia right now. Let's see who else is chipping in at the moment. Nice to have you tuning in wherever you are watching from. Going to get back to some more voices that Darren has recorded, but I know it's very important to keep you happy with a jingle from time to time. So let's do that.
Monday to Friday live.
Audio production tips and tricks for those of you in the audio industry, whether it's radio, music producing, DJing, podcasting. I'm Mike Russell, and I'm here to make your day a little happier with some audio production goodness. I do hope you enjoy the show.
This is Mike Russell from musicradiocreative.com.
All right. Do keep the comments coming in, by the way. I always like to read them as often as I can over there on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch, Periscope, wherever you happen to be watching. It's just nice to see that you're interacting as well. What have we got here?
Is it deal?
Oh, we've done that one, haven't we?
Is it deal?
We've done that one.
Look.
Yes, this is one that I wanted. So I just thought I could just chop this off here and take off the deep breath for a moment.
Look, it's a no from me.
And of course, very famous celebrity there both sides of the pond, as we know, very famous British celebrity, and I just wanted to cut this, maybe take off that tube-modelled compressor for a moment.
Look, it's a no from me.
And then I wanted to go, where are we? Over here, to find, there should be a buzzer somewhere. I need a buzzer that I can jazz up. Where's my buzzer? There's my buzzer. Brilliant. Right, okay. So, and by the way, if you have not seen it, check out, obviously you know Darren's YouTube channel, but type in his name and Britain's Got Talent, and you can watch Darren on the Britain's Got Talent TV show last year. Did some fantastic performances, made it all the way through, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Darren, made it all the way through to the semi-finals of Britain's Got Talent, doing celebrity impressions. So amazing, amazing stuff. If you've not seen the video and you're watching from outside the UK, I am absolutely certain it must be on YouTube somewhere. So we got a buzzer here. Now, I've already intentionally cross-faded this. Sounds like a dentist drill, doesn't it?
Look.
So I was just going to make it a bit shorter, and I wanted to replicate that Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent, as I believe you're in the United States, your America's Got Talent has just finished, hasn't it? It's just come to an end. So using that sound effect, I wanted to kind of try and replicate a real meaty buzzer sound, because that's not going to kind of cut it for Mr. Cowell, is it?
Look, it's a no from me.
And what I might do is add a little bit of pitch there, tiny bit of pitch, just a smidge. We won't even go down in semitones, we'll go down in cents. And
it's a no from me.
There we go.
It's a no from me.
And that's a good ninja tip. I mean, Darren's voices are excellent as they come. But if you're having a go at doing impressions for whatever reason, or you need to have that big, deep game show voice, and you can't quite crack it, you get it almost spot on, but you think, it just doesn't have the punch I need, then a little tip is to go into Pitch Shifter. Here, it's a native Adobe Audition effect, and just go down, rather than going down in semitones, which will take the pitch down really quickly. Look, this won't do good things at all.
Look. It's a no from me.
That is, you start going Darth Vader-esque. So rather than going down in semitones, I recommend going down in cents. So they're much, much smaller, minute pitch changes. So minus 70, essentially going down to minus 100 cents is like going down one semitone. So you can really, just going down by minus 71, it's
a no from me.
You hardly notice the pitch change.
It's a no from me.
Just a very subtle pitch change. So I'm going to leave that in for the moment. And I think I can do a better cut on that as well. So let's try and do a better cut on our Got Talent buzzer. For some reason that's not cutting very well, so I'm just going to zoom in on that. Let's have a look here. All right, we got that there. Nice. And that there. Very subtle cut. Move out. Maybe a bigger crossfade will help. Perfect, that's what we wanted. Little bit breathy at the start, so I'm just going to pull that initial breath down so it doesn't overpower everything.
Look, it's a no from me.
Perfect. Now, so you see what I did there? Sometimes when you like a breath in a voiceover, but you don't quite want it so loud, and often it can be made particularly loud by compressors that you have going on in your voice effects chain. As you can see, I have many of them. A quick tip is just to take the voice there and knock it down using envelopes on the waveform itself. So as you can see, I've reduced it by 17.5 dB, and it goes to that, which is natural from that, which is kind of like, that's like right in your face, isn't it? So 17.5 will be perfect there. Now, to get that Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or Poland's Got Talent or wherever you happen to be style buzzer, I think it's the same buzzer effect all over the world, isn't it? I'm just going to down the pitch on this again so we can get it a little bit. Obviously, we won't get it exactly the same because we're not using the same effect. And more likely than not, the effect that is used for the Got Talent buzzer is proprietary and copyrighted to the show, as it should be. So we want to get something that's quite close. So pitching down can kind of help us with that. Yeah, you could make a tune out of a buzzer, couldn't you? And what I might actually do is I'm getting the idea now to create another track here and just layer this up. So let's grab that and that, pull that down here, copy, and we'll add in another pitch. And we could even do a bit of stereo separation on this as well. So we'll go down like that, and like, oh, we don't really need to play with the sense there. That sounds off, doesn't it, if you do that? Weird. And I'm thinking here of popping those into a new bus, stereo bus. We'll call it Buzzer. Send that one to the Buzzer bus as well. And then I can put joint effects on this. Let's put a nice bit of Waves H reverb on there. Give it some energy.
Look, it's a no from me.
There we go. So there's our Simon Cowell turn down.
Look, it's a no from me.
And let's go and see what else we have here.
Nice to see you, nice.
The legend that is Brucey, very sadly passed away recently. An absolute, if you're not from the UK, absolute television broadcasting legend that we recently lost. But his voice and his trademarks and all the poses he used to do on the television will stay with us forever. May he rest in peace. But this is another thing we can use maybe with a little bit of music. Let's see what we got here. We've got some crowd game show style shouts. Let's have a look over here. Oh, we've got some cheering there. Let's go back to game show style stuff. And we'll see what we can find here. Oh, we've used that. We've used that. Oh, that could be quite nice, couldn't it? Let's download that from our library and bring this in. There we go. Right, let's pop this on. And just going to mix this down into the music area here. Let's have a listen.
Nice to see you, nice.
Perfect. One of Brucey's legendary catchphrases. He will be missed. Right, let's just place that somewhere here on the music to make it sound good. Over here.
Nice to see you, nice.
Perfect. And that could easily be the intro to your show or anything else you're doing. I mean, get creative. You know, think about the ways that you could use game show style voiceovers in your productions. I do like using a lot of reverb and making things sound big like that. What else have we got here?
What you see. Say what you see.
Oh, yes. And this is another one where we need a little buzzer. Now, let's just do a little contest in the chat quickly. And I will go over and read out your comments now. While I'm reading out your comments, I want to know who this is and what TV show it is.
Say what you see.
Any ideas? Again, it will be an advantage to you if you are based in the UK. It's a very well-known UK TV show. So, indeed, say what you hear. Say what you hear.
Say what you see.
My audio is stuttering a little bit there, but you get the idea.
Say what you see.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So let's go back and have a look at what we got going on in the comments right now over on YouTube. So we have got here, what have we got? Let's have a look. I had no idea Keith Urban was an Aussie, but then I'm not very up with following where all the various different artists of these days are from. Thank you, Paul, for filling out the survey. By the way, you can do that. You can really help me to improve the quality of this live stream by giving me some of your thoughts of what you'd like to see more of, less of, all that kind of stuff at mrc.fm/survey. That's mrc.fm/survey. What else have we got here? David Lewis, I was on the verge of buying Synaptic Unveil, but it's quite pricey. Are there any native tools or alternate plugins? David, I'll have to dig it out for you, but yeah, we're talking about Synaptic Unveil. We were speaking about it the other week, talking about removing reverb and echo from voices and various bits like that. And I did mention the Synaptic Unveil could be a good one. Not sure what the current price is of it. I'm sure I've done a video on how to do these kind of things natively in Audition, but I'm not sure if it's on my Mike Russell YouTube channel or if it's on my Mike Russell VIP. So I'll try and dig it out for you, David, and post a link for you, maybe over in the community. We do have a community, by the way, at community.musicradiocreative.com. Love it if you join up if you haven't done so already. Easy DC's got a Rode Video Mic Go, and it's attached to a DSLR camera. Very pro, like that. What do you and how do you suggest for me to edit on Audacity? I appreciate it very much. What and how do I suggest you edit it on Audacity? Well, I would say that you could edit it on Audacity. And that would be fine. Not sure exactly what it is you want to do with the voice, whether it's simple processing. I mean, you can add stuff like compression, EQ, all in Audacity. You can even pull in stuff like Waves plugins. Some of them are on sale right now, and use them inside Audacity. I, of course, as you probably know, use Adobe Audition. I find it much faster, much easier to work with. But it's whatever works for you. And EasyDC is saying, I got your channel because of Nick Nimmin, who's absolutely awesome. Nick Nimmin is a fantastic YouTube creator and a video pro, and he mentioned me about a week and a half ago on one of his videos, and I got some wonderful new subscribes thanks to Nick, so very grateful for that, and good to have you watching today, EasyDC. Devon says, I've used the Blue Yeti mic, and it's okay for a beginner mic, but if you want something better, look at the AT2050 or the Heil PR35. Yeah, absolutely, perhaps. Perfect timing with jingles and talkover. Yeah, I do like it when things match up in timing. Addy DJ, hey Mike, again, great show, bravo. I recorded a lecture from school. There's a kid coughing in the background, killing my ears. Can I remove it? Felix, that's pretty difficult to do because you are essentially trying to remove audio that is at the human spoken frequency. So not necessarily that easy. What else have we got here? Anything else worth mentioning? Thanks, David, for mentioning the Waves Audio 10% discount voucher. If you want to get any Waves plugins, works on the discount sale prices too. mrc.fm/waves is the place to go. And yes, Liam is the first person to get it correct, although Paul Anthony was in there as well. Roy Walker from Catchphrase. Yes, the wonderful Northern Irish voice.
Say what you say.
And that's our voice artist, Darren, saying, say what you see. And he, by the way, is a fantastic talent and has done all the voices for today's session. So do be sure to check out his channel at youtube.com/UK voiceover guy. Here's his channel. Lots of entertaining stuff on there. If you go to videos and sort by most popular, you'll see a lot of my favorites. He's got a tutorial on how to do celebrity impressions. There's also another one I really like, a tour of his voiceover studio in London. He's got a really good setup, so highly recommend you check that out too. And my personal favourite is Darren doing celebrity impressions to the tune of I Should Be So Lucky. Really talented guy, great videos there on his channel. So I was just thinking with Roy Walker, because Catchphrase, I don't know if you ever had Catchphrase in the United States, if that's a show that made it out there, or indeed any other parts of the world. But it's one of those shows where they show you funny kind of pictures with things happening, and you have to kind of guess a phrase from the picture you see on the screen. And it kind of had something like this. No, not a bell. We want kind of like a game show buzzer? No. Let's see. We need to get something. Game show ding. That'll do. So say what you see, and then always straight after Roy Walker says that, someone buzzes in with the answer.
Say what you see.
Yes, Roy. Is it whatever the answer is? And then what is this we've got?
Is that your final answer?
Ah, yes. Chris Tarrant from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? So we need a kind of dramatic drone, don't we, for that? Let's see if I've got any dramatic drones. Oh, wow. That's deep. Something a little darker. There we go. That's more Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, isn't it? And again, I know in the United States you have a slightly different host of the show, but Chris Tarrant here in the UK has a very familiar-sounding voice, shall we say, a very unique voice. And Darren was kind enough to do a little bit of Chris Tarrant for us so we could have this tense moment. Oh, hang on. I got something funky going on there. I might just need to move this down a little bit. And let's put this onto the sound effects channel down there.
Is that your final answer?
Let's bring this down here.
Is that your final answer? Is that your final answer?
Maybe a little bit too loud on the sound effects, so let's bring this down and bring this up a little bit.
Is that your final answer?
It's brilliant. Really love it. And yes, Liam is absolutely right in the chat there. Mr. Chips was always used on the catchphrase TV show. Another show I used to love here in the UK. Let's see if I can actually find it for you on YouTube, the theme tune anyway. One of my favourite shows of the, it was the 80s, wasn't it, or the late 80s that this show was out, but was Blockbusters. Again, another host that has sadly left us, well, actually many years ago, I think 2012, Bob Holness passed away. But let's just play a little bit of this for nostalgia reasons only. Again, probably a UK-only TV theme show, but I'll just indulge in that a little bit. And I always used to laugh. Well, everyone used to laugh when someone said, "Can I have a pee, please, Bob?" Blockbusters, excellent TV show. Yeah, just reminded me of Blockbusters. I don't know why. And there was a funny theory that Bob Holness played the saxophone in Baker Street by Jerry Rafferty. That was always a rumour knocking around when I used to work in radio. And tis was, oh, Paul, my goodness, let's just have a laugh. Let's have a laugh for the last 7 minutes. Just post your favourite nostalgic TV shows. They don't have to be game shows, but yeah, absolutely. Tis was, Chris Tarrant, my goodness. And what was it a little bit later on? They used to have a Saturday morning TV show called, was it called What's Up Doc? Was that it? What's Up Doc? And Live and Kicking as well. My goodness, yes. Can I have a pee, please, Bob? So always so funny. So come on, in the last 7 minutes, doesn't matter if you're in the UK or watching from somewhere else, post your favourite game show or TV show of the past that no longer exists in the chat. I'd love to geek out with you about that. I've got one more voice to work with, by the way, but I just want to see what some of your favourite TV shows of the past are. One that I always wanted to be inside was Nightmare. And again, this is probably a UK-only TV show. I don't know if Nightmare, let's just have a look for Nightmare theme. Usually you can find any theme to any TV show on YouTube. That's what it's good for. There we go, Nightmare. Anyone remember Nightmare? Such a good TV theme tune. I always wanted to be on this show. And now, of course, they've got virtual reality anyway, so you just have to put on a headset and you are in a virtual world like Nightmare. But this show, I thought, was ahead of its time in the 80s. Of course, showing my age. Brilliant stuff. Oh, my goodness. And the knight on the horse riding into the castle. Yes, fantastic stuff. And enter stranger. All that kind of stuff. Oh, this is so good. So, so good. So let's have a look at the chat. Spitting Image and Rainbow. Oh, Rainbow. How can we forget Rainbow? SMTV Live, yeah. What else were your favourite? Darren Altman, Jeremy Clarkson impression was bloody funny. Yes, Darren does a superb Jeremy Clarkson. We're talking about Darren Altman here, who's provided the voices for today's live stream. And yes, he does a wicked Jeremy Clarkson. Trump Show, Nightmare, Goodies, yes. Mike, you got to at least play catchphrase sound effect just for memory's sake. What sound effect are you talking about? The ding? Oh, the that buzzer. Hang on, let me have a search for this. Sorry, I know I'm going a little bit off the actual producing side, but I do actually find this kind of nostalgia quite fun from time to time. And seeing as I'm allowed to geek out with you on my live stream and call it work, I'm going to do it. Catchphrase buzzer. Have we got the catchphrase buzzer? Can we have a catchphrase buzzer, please? There must be some. One on buzzer sound from catchphrase. Let's try this YouTube video. There you go. A bit poor audio quality there, but it did the job, didn't it? That was the catchphrase buzzer. Liam says, I'm loving this, Mike. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Mr. Ben, the VO on the start of that. Says David. Good stuff. All right, let's get down to it. Final one we've got here for the moment that I wanted to play. I did ask Darren to do this for a laugh, even though I know he's impersonating Anne Robinson, who of course you'll know on both sides of the pond as the hostess of The Weakest Link. Let's just have a listen to these samples, just for fun.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. It sounds more like David Mitchell, doesn't it, Michael?
Yes, it does. Or Alan Carr. Oh, Darren's a great sport. Love that. Yes, a bit of Anne Robinson. So I thought I would also hop over to a lady who certainly has a lot of the persona of Anne Robinson, who I know very well. I asked this lady to try and do a bit of Anne Robinson as well. Let's have a listen.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
That, of course, is Isabella, my other half and business partner here at Music Radio Creative, if you didn't know. And she picked up on the fact that Anne Robinson says goodbye in a very strange way. She kind of says, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. So we were trying to get that down to a T. But yes, people are having a laugh at the fact that Darren did sound very much like David Mitchell. David Zilk says the fairy is back. It is the fairy. Right, that's it for today's show. Just got a couple of minutes left, so I wanted to shout out all of your posts on the community. Again, here is Darren's fantastically funny YouTube channel. Go and subscribe now. youtube.com/UK voiceover guy. Just going to pop that up in the chat over there so you can click it directly. Hit subscribe because Darren releases videos quite regularly. And you'll get a laugh from Darren, definitely. So over in the community, which if you've not joined, head to community.musicradiocreative.com. I'll post that link because you can keep the conversation going when these streams are off the air, and you can basically stay involved, which is great. And David produced, after we did our fairy sound effects last week, a little jingle with Isabella in it. Let's have a listen to this. Very spooky. Very creepy. Thank you, David.
Those who don't believe in magic will never find it.
Hashtag Isabella Queen Fairy, which is very nice. I've also got stuff in the community. Audio tracks for websites, intriguing microphones, what is your occupation, best frequencies for voiceovers, pop shields for microphones, free epic sound effects for films and video trailers, free iZotope plugin available right now, what insurance you carry, questions related to the audio industry, and lots of Adobe Audition Q&A in there as well. So head over there, community.musicradiocreative.com. It was fantastic of you to join me for today's show, and I'm back, well, every weekday from 2 p.m. UK time. Set it up in your calendar, and I'll see you tomorrow.